You will require a 7mm wrench and a facial removal tool. Carefully remove these panels. Be careful not to damage the panels. They are held in by clips, but they're very tight and will require the use of the tool to remove them. Please note, do not use a screwdriver to do this, as you will permanently damage panels and the interior of your vehicle. There are 4 screws that need to be removed with your wrench. You will be removing the screen first. To do this, you'll need to lift in an upwards motion, as shown here. The second part, or the top half, will need to be pulled in a direction more towards you to be released easier. There are 4 plugs on the back of the screen that will need to be removed. There are clips on each plug, so make sure to press those firmly when removing them. The bottom part will come out with just a bit of force, as there are no longer any bolts holding it in. There is 1 cable on the back that will need to be removed. The 4 bolts need to be removed to remove the main unit. Next we'll be removing the glove compartment. 3 bolts underneath the glove compartment hold it in place from the bottom, and there are 2 bolts from the top. You'll need your 7mm wrench to do this. Now carefully proceed to remove the glove box. You will require to cut the foam to allow for this module to fit in. If you have a VF Series 2, you will need to cut a little bit of additional foam out at this stage to allow for the Bluetooth transmitter. Place the cables as per the instruction manual. The grey cable should be heading towards the box in the glove compartment, and the USB will be dropped inside the glove compartment for easy access further down the track. These 2 cables, which are power and a 3.5mm jack, are required for the Bluetooth transmitter for the VF Series 2. Carefully pass the cables. Simply plug the cable into the unit and pass the LVDS cable. This cable will connect the screen to our unit, as well as back to the factory unit. This is needed for the Mark II or Series 2 VF Commodore to allow for the Bluetooth transmitter box to transmit the signals to the Bluetooth section of MyLink. This is the power cable that is needed for the Bluetooth transmitter for VF Series 2. As this is Series 1 installation, we will not be plugging them in. The easiest way of passing these cables into the glove box is by removing this mechanism here to pass the cables, and then putting it back, cutting out a small section, then placing it back in place. We recommend that you use a file to clean up the area afterwards to allow for a smoother finish and not to damage the cables over the long run. The pressure of the glove box going in will hold the unit in place. There is no need to tape it in place or use double-sided tape at all. Carefully place back the glove box compartment. Screw back the glove compartment in the same manner we've taken it off with the 3 screws on the bottom, or 3 bolts, and the 2 bolts on top. We recommend using something to protect the interior of the car, like foam or a towel. Carefully remove the unit, as the edges can very easily scratch the plastics. To remove the clip on the back, you simply have to press from the top and move the lever forwards as shown in the video. Remove all the plugs from the back of the unit. Plug the female end into the male end of our harness. As so, using the clicking locking mechanism. There you go, nice and safe. Plug the other end back into the factory unit. As you can see, there are labels on our LVDS cables. Connect these 2 cables together and then pass that cable from our loom back into the factory unit. Connect up the LVDS cables as per the labels on there. Carefully return the main unit back into its location. Remove the cable that came from the factory and place in. Plug in our cables that were provided to our unit. There is a cable for the console and a cable for the screen. Plug in the LVDS cable, as well as the power supply to the screen. And the last cable there. Place back the air conditioning controls. A little bit of force is needed here until it clicks into place. Click into place the screen. Screw in the 4 bolts we took out initially. We'd recommend you do a test run right about now, but since we know everything works, we're just going to go ahead and put in the facial panels back in. To get access to our interface, hold down the home button. As you can see, all the controls work, and the screen displays the information.